And we are live. Hello, my name is Terry Thompson, and I am the host of Unbreakable Stories, along with my co-host here, Bonnie. And we are live. Holy
Hello, my
frickin'
name is
Christmas
Terry
crap!
Thompson, and I am
And
the
that
host
was
of
supposed to have been mute, and now we got past that other technical. Oh my God, we've been having technical difficulties all night, but you know what? I am grateful to be here. Bonnie, how you doing?
I'm good. Also grateful to be here. Any day that begins and ends with gratitude is an A1 day in my book, right?
Oh my goodness, man, we've been struggling today. It's one of those things to where no matter how hard you push forward, you're going to hit those struggles, those roadblocks, that adversity, those things that are just holding you back, that does not want you to achieve success. But you know what? That's not what we do. That's not being unbreakable, because when you're unbreakable, it doesn't matter what comes your way. You're going to plow through that. You're going to knock it out of your way, and you are going to achieve some type of result, some type of success. So we're going to dive into the conversation here, and we already had one earlier today about gratitude over on Clubhouse. So if you wasn't there, you missed it, but don't worry, there is a replay. So if you go over to the Unbreakable Stories club over on Clubhouse, there is a replay. You can catch that conversation as well too. We had some friends share some absolutely amazing thoughts and ideas on the thing of gratitude. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Bonnie, what are your thoughts about gratitude?
Wow, that's a
That's
a
a
big
loaded
question.
question.
I
That's a
was gonna say that too. Yeah, I've lots of thoughts. Honestly though, getting to start our day and end our day with gratitude today is just a really great feeling. Um, that conversation, just getting to share it with our friends over on Clubhouse, and now getting to share it here on YouTube and Facebook, I believe, right? Um,
Mhm.
it's just it's a great reminder, and it's something that can't be talked about enough. Honestly, I think one of the last things that we talked about this morning, maybe it was one of the first, doesn't matter. It's just a simple act of saying thank you when you wake up in the morning, and thank you before you go to bed at night.
Mhm.
And how I know how much that changed my life. And I know that when I got away from that habit and kind of forgot, for whatever reason, forgot and then fell away from it, um, how things kind of took a downturn. And when I remembered, it's like, oh, okay, what was I doing before when I was feeling really good that I'm not doing now? That was one of the first things. It's like, oh, I can't believe I forgot to do that. And so I had to get back in the habit of doing that. And um, just that simple act of gratitude makes a huge difference. And when I'm even saying thank you to anybody in particular, like me, I'm just kind of saying thank you to the universe for, waking me up this morning, and I'm still here and I get to serve. Sometimes it's honestly just the words "thank you" is all I can muster. To be honest with you, I mean, those mornings when you're like, okay, thank you. You kind of get out of bed, you start moving and stuff, but like, yeah, it's gratitude is just super, super important if we're gonna have a positive impact on our own lives, let alone the lives of others.
Yeah, I
For
love
sure.
that. Starting the day with saying thank you for another day, another opportunity. The ability to be of service to those that have put their faith and trust within you to show up so you can show out, speak up so you can speak out. And we've talked about this several times before, and that really resonates with me because that's a part of how I express gratitude as well too. Every day, I wake up, and the first thing that I do is I say thank you. Thank you for another day. I have this little prayer that I say, thank you for another day. Thank you for another opportunity. Please allow me the courage, the strength, a lot of different things that goes in there, and it changes every single day because every day I'm grateful or I'm thankful for different things depending on what my focus is, what my bottom line up front is. So I'm always thankful, that I woke up, because there's people that didn't wake up from their sleep, and it's one of those things to where I'm truly grateful for that each and every single day. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. And that is a part of my day, and how I express gratitude as well too. And that's, being grateful for another day. So how do you at night? And I know my planning really kind of starts the night before. So do you have like a nightly routine that you can share?
Uh, that's that's a great question. Um, So I'm going to give one of your favorite answers that I adopted from you, which is yes, no. Being that so yes, I do give thanks, and I do, give my thoughts and words of gratitude before I go to sleep. Again, this is a practice, and I say it's a practice because you literally have to you have to remember to do this thing. Um, and so for me, it's getting back into I'm in a stage right now where I'm getting back into the practice of remembering to do that every night. And I have some other things that I do in my wind down routine. Being that we're in the last month of summer break, lots of air, heavy on the air quotes on that word break, um, from school with my boys. Um, things I kind of let things be a little more, well, actually be quite a bit more flexible for the first couple of months of summer, and now we're basically getting back to, okay, well, we're gonna reel things back in. We're getting back on our, they weren't staying up super late, but I'm kind of dialing back the bedtime a little bit every night, just by a few minutes. So the routine has been way more adaptable the past 2 months, and I am starting to reel that back in. So as far as my routine for me is making sure that I remember to say thank you. I try to recount the different things that happened during the day, and think about the different things that I'm grateful for that worked out in my favor, and for the lessons that I've learned. And then I have a sleep mask that has had like earphones built in. And so I listen to different, either sleep hypnosis or sleep meditation or sleep affirmations or something to that effect. So I'm literally getting positivity and affirmations and gratitude pumped between my ears, like all
Mhm.
night long on purpose,
Yeah.
to let that really sink into the subconscious, because the
And
more we
that's a
can.
great point. That's a truly great point. I want to kind of touch on something with that, and that's frequencies, because I know David Meltzer constantly talks about frequencies.
Right.
In your experience, is there any particular frequencies that allow you to express gratitude or show gratitude or think about gratitude? Because I started diving into certain things like NLP frequencies, all these different things that are just out there scientifically. What is your experience with that in reference to gratitude?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. As far as like the frequency, like binaural beats or music frequency, like sound frequency, that I don't know.
Mhm.
I honestly follow kind of what the experts say, or what sounds good or
Mhm.
what feels good in the moment as far as sound frequencies go, like listening to this stuff. What for me, it's a frequency of, um, does the person that's speaking make me feel relaxed, make me like, is it enjoyable, do I feel relaxed, am I able to go to sleep quickly, to be honest with you, and do I stay asleep? Because I have definitely listened to people who help you fall asleep, but then they've got this jarring, which, don't ask me why, but they've got like this jarring sound, or the volume goes up,
Mhm.
or sometimes even, um you'll have one, I guess, author and another author. One speaks louder or records louder, and you know more about this stuff than I do. But
Mhm.
one recording's louder or quieter than the other, and so because of that mismatch, it's either jarring, or halfway through the night I'm not hearing it. So I have definitely paid attention to those frequencies. It's like, do I align with this person? And like, does what they're doing and how they're doing it resonate with me and how I'm feeling? And sometimes even that shifts. Like sometimes in the winter, like I just noticed last night, the person I normally listen to, go to sleep to, just wasn't doing it for me, like for
Mhm.
whatever reason. And I was like, okay, let me revert back and see if maybe this other person that's on my playlist will help. And I was out within like 3 minutes.
Mhm.
So it could just be a matter of your day, the temperature, different things. And so I do, to answer your question, I really feel my way through these things.
Mhm.
It's not, as heady as it may be for other people as far as like
And for those times that you struggle with that, when you're struggling to find your way through certain things, I'm sure that you're truly grateful once you do find that. So when you do find that, how do you kind of, I don't know the right way to say this, but how do you sink into that, so to speak? It's like, you're struggling. You're like, man, I know I can go to sleep, man. I know I can do this, this sound, that feeling, this temperature, all these different things. So those moments that you are struggling, how do you really feel once you do ultimately get to that moment of like, man, there it is. I'm grateful for that. Thank you. I can finally go to sleep.
yeah, honestly, so to get really, really transparent here, being somebody that spent 25 plus years on different psych meds, antidepressants, and anxiety, sleep meds, all across, mood stabilizers, I was always taking something to knock me out. So going to sleep wasn't the issue once I told the doctor, hey, I'm having trouble with sleep. He gave me a prescription and I was knocked out.
Mhm.
And if I wasn't getting knocked out, we went to another prescription. So that was kind of my MO for a really long time. So now for me, my kind of guiding light, if you will, or guiding darkness, if we're trying to go to sleep here, is if I'm not asleep within 3 to 5 minutes, I need to change the audio because I know that I have the capability now to fall asleep quickly on my own without some kind of like chemical intervention. Sometimes I take melatonin, especially if we've had like a really, um, yeah, like if things are kind of amped up and that's something that I think that I need, or if my sleep schedule's out of whack. But
Mhm.
for the most part, for me, the answer if is that I don't realize it's not working, right? That's really the best answer, short answer I can give you is it's more of did it not work? Because if I'm still awake, then yeah, something's not working.
Yeah. So I want to dive into two different things here before I go. Well, one thing before I go into the sciency part of it
Hmm.
here, and one of our friends here, Alay, he just shared gratitude is a way to reflect and pray, regardless of religion, beliefs, and philosophies. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts about that right there?
I think that's it's a beautiful observation. I hadn't looked at it quite that concisely. But he's absolutely right. I mean, gratitude is just being thankful, and you don't need
Mhm.
religion. You don't need, you know, you don't need a framework, let's say, to be thankful for anything.
Mhm.
So I love that observation. He's right.
Would you say that that falls into that esoteric category that you and I were talking about the other day?
I'm rethinking my use of the word esoteric right now, uh, because well, honestly, I realized that I may have not been using it correctly.
Uh-huh.
And I think that based on the dictionary meaning of esoteric, which basically means like a small group of people understand a certain topic, this is something that really shouldn't be esoteric. This is something that we should be teaching our kids and that everybody should know and understand is how to be thankful.
Mhm.
Like how to be grateful for what you have. Whatever it is. I'm not going to get into like rich, poor, this, that, the other.
Mhm.
Being grateful is a very basic concept, and I think it's something that we should all be teaching our children.
Yeah. So here comes the sciencey part of it, and I was kind of doing some research. So as you and I were really kind of discussing the topic, and that's the reason why I went with the title, "The Science of Gratitude." We can really kind of dive into a lot of different things, and there's a lot to unpack with that. But I want to share this with everybody right here. So I was doing some research, and I ran across quite a few things, and here's what I discovered. Research really shows that adopting an attitude of gratitude, which is really simply just expressing appreciation and being more thankful, it can measurably, I mean, just really measurably improve your overall well being in your life for that matter. There's definitely studies that are out there that prove that you can increase your happiness, your overall strength, and your resiliency for that matter as well too. Here's the deal. Grateful people often experience reduced blood pressure, increase in overall energy levels, higher self-esteem, and improved social behavior. So there's some studies, there's some science that goes behind a little bit of that proves all of that correct. And here's the deal. You see, gratitude actually increases the production of dopamine and serotonin, which can create feelings of happiness. It can create feelings of contentment. And research also suggests that when you regularly practice gratitude, you really train your prefrontal cortex. I'm chopping that up. Your prefrontal cortex to better appreciate positive experiences and thoughts and to deflect the negative ones. Here's some simple ways that you can express gratitude. We've already shared some here. Bonnie shared some right here, and it's really the power of thank you. But really, it's just live life simply. It really means that. It really means to live that simple life, to really just be grateful for just even the little things. So, some things you can do is you can tell people within your life something that you appreciate about them. How often do you really tell somebody that you appreciate something about? I do that all the time to Bonnie because I'm greatly appreciative of all the things that she does. She says she really does a lot more than I've really said. But man, when I express that gratitude, those thanks, those little simple things, it really means a lot. You can tell yourself things like, hey, I have what it takes. You can tell yourself and be grateful that you have knowledge, you have skills, you have experience, you have exactly what it takes to do anything that you want to within this life. You can volunteer for more, be more, go do more things. You can do things like holding a door for a stranger. They're grateful for that. Hold the door for somebody, clean up after somebody, do some, like today, for example, I was in the store and the people behind me dropped a whole bunch of stuff. And it's like, I easily could have just been COVID, kind of a thing. And I ain't messing up, but I was grateful to help and to be of assistance and be of value to someone during that moment right there. And another thing, you can just simply smile. Just simply smile more. The power of a smile is really more powerful than a thank you. And I want Bonnie to weigh in on that as well too. And I truly believe that when you're able to be grateful for just the simple things, you'll start smiling more, and you will notice that you will begin to feel better. So tell me, what are your thoughts about a smile? Like when you see somebody smile, how does that make you feel? Like, I'm grateful for that because there's a lot of angry, pissed off people out in the world that really just, you look at them like, "Ugh, don't talk to me." And I'm grateful for a smile. What are your thoughts about that one?
Yeah, it's interesting we're talking about. So I haven't been a whole lot of out and about at all. However, um, I was just talking to Janine, our friend Janine,
Mhm.
about how contagious my youngest laugh is. He still has that full on, you've heard him, he's still got that full on mischievous belly laugh, which is obviously comes right after the smile or with the smile. And you can't help, at least I can't, and I know a lot of other people, if you are in this attitude of gratitude, if you're in a mindset of appreciation, some people get annoyed because it's loud and it's like, it goes on and on and on. But for me, I get the biggest kick out of that. And you can't help, if he keeps it up for more than a few seconds, like you can't help but join him. And I don't think you can laugh and be angry at the same time. Like I think it's scientifically impossible, or even be like miserable, at least not in the same exact moment of time. And so, yeah, it's a lot of times too. I don't know if you used to run around. This was like an 80s and 90s kid thing where we would scream at the top of our lungs and be like, tension breaker had to be done. That was like this thing for a little while, a few years. I don't know if you did that, but we did.
I did
And
something different.
that's,
I'll share that in a moment.
yeah, so that's what that reminds me of, is when he's sitting there watching a video or playing a game or doing something with his brother, and I'm doing something and I'm all intense and I'm starting to get frustrated, and all of a sudden I hear like this massive belly laugh. It's like, wow, that timing was absolutely perfect, because it does, like, you can't focus on being angry
Mhm.
when you're witnessing that, and you let yourself be a part of that. So
Yeah.
I think there's some science behind
I
that.
love that attention breaker thing. I absolutely love that. So I remember years ago, I was in a room full of people, right? And we were waiting on like the senior person to show up before we got the meeting started. So there's like 20 of us in a room and it's hot as crap. The air conditioner went out. Nobody wants to be there. It's like early in the morning kind of a thing. And we're waiting on, the big boss to show up so we can get this meeting started. And
Yeah.
everybody was like asleep, right? Like everybody was just kind of crashed out. It was like, dude over here sitting in the chair asleep, people at the table with their head down. Out of nowhere, this freaking jackwagon stands up, right? And he just goes, time commander. And everybody jumps up like, attention, right? Because that's what you do. Usually you announce the leader when they walk into the room. You announce the leader, like boss is in the room, kind of a thing. You make the announcement. So everybody stands up, right? And all the guy said was battalion commander. That's all that he said. And it made everybody jump up and stand at the position of attention. And he goes, just texted me and said that she'll be in about 10 minutes. So y'all can sit back down or go back to sleep. But it was that little attention getter, that little break that woke everybody up, and nobody wanted to go back to sleep after that. They're like, forget, dude, I'm awake now. Forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And we were great. We were upset at that, but we were also grateful for that because, when the senior leader does walk in the room, you definitely want to have the energy. You don't want to walk in and, it was one of those moments to where that person saw, hey, we don't want the senior leader walking in and seeing everybody asleep. So I'm going to do you all a favor and wake everybody up. And now you're energized. Now you're ready to go. Everybody, we were energized after that.
Yeah, I bet.
So what are your thoughts about that? And we do have a friend backstage here. So I do want to bring Mina into the show. I see Mina sitting backstage here. So Mina, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you doing?
Doing absolutely fantastic here. So what are your thoughts about gratitude? You ready to dive right on in? What are your thoughts about gratitude? How do you express gratitude? What's your daily routine like that?
Yes, of course. I practice gratitude every morning and night before sleeping. Before getting out of my bed, I practice gratitude because we never know if you will wake up or not. And when we wake up, we gain another day. So it's a moment to thank the universe, or what you name it, for this new opportunity to be alive and to have the day to do new things and to be grateful for all what may happen. So I do it. It's in my daily practice. And also at night, yes, every morning and I end my day by being grateful of all what I have and of how I spent the day. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, it's the minimum that I can do is to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, we have another friend backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring Mariella into the show. So I see her waiting patiently backstage. So Mariella, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, guys?
Doing absolutely fantastic. We got the Unbreakable family showing up here tonight, showing out, speaking up and speaking out. I 100% love it. So Mariella, real quickly before I go over to you, I have a question for Mina here, and that's, when you see, and this could really be a question for everybody, when you see somebody that is really expressing ungratefulness or ungratitude, however you want to say that, they're not grateful for certain things, or they're taking things for granted. Have you ever had to step in and just kind of correct someone, or make an on the spot correction, or say, hey dude, you should really, back off, or something? Have you ever found yourself in that position right there? And how did you solve that problem?
I'm trying not to contort my face as hard as possible. Yes, I have. I've got kids ranging from 22 to 5. And I've definitely taken my oldest two aside at different points. Now, I'm not super proud of how I handled
I
this
was
in the
going to say that.
past because I've definitely been nasty. I've definitely like not, and this is, most of this was before I really started on like my spiritual practice, my spiritual journey. Not all of it. But I've had not a lot. I've had some of these how dare you be ungrateful moments. Now, I have to say that there were a couple of times where I also within those needed to put myself in check because it wasn't necessarily that they were being ungrateful, but that I was missing something in the situation and then had to go back later and apologize for being a jerk, basically. Yeah, like Marielle is dropping her phone over here going, yeah, I know what that's like. I've definitely apologized to my kids, all of them, for pulling a nasty mom move and then being like, oh crap, I really messed up. And I think this is a side note, but I think it's really important for us as parents to admit to our kids when we've messed up. They need to see that. I think that's part of rectifying a situation. But yeah, I have put other people's kids in check. I not necessarily want to admit that, but I'm going to, where it's just like you owe
That's
your
a tough one.
your parents like an apology. That was completely uncalled for kind of thing. Like the fact that you're even here where we are right now. And of course, like they're not my kids. I'm not gonna go, but I have not been able to bite my tongue in a couple of these situations and just been like, look, you don't know how good you have it, and you owe somebody an apology. That's it.
I love that. And you said that very eloquently, by the way. And I know that you was holding back and being very politically correct on that one. And so we do have a couple of more. I'm going to go over to Mariella next, but we do have a couple of more friends here joining us. So welcome to the show, LA. Welcome to the show, Peter.
Oh, I got a full house.
Hi guys.
Hello. Nice to see you all.
Terry, can you please let Piro or Alan go for 1 second? My daughter needs me. 1 second, okay?
Yeah, sure.
All
Just
right.
make sure you mute before you
Yes,
go.
I am. Right now I'm gonna mute it, and yes, I'm so sorry.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So welcome to the show, LA. Welcome to the show, Peter. Peter, I love the shirt, man. Thank you for your support. Thank you for having the shirt here. And I know LA has the printout ready to rock and roll. We'll bring up the printout here in a little bit.
I will do it for next time.
And hey, so check this out, Mina. While we're talking, you can actually do that. So here's what you can do. Mina, do you have your phone?
Yes.
Yeah, so check this out. Go to unbreakablestories.com. You'll see the link for share your support, and then download the image onto your phone, and you can hold the phone up with the image on your phone.
Okay.
That's all you have to do. So while Mina's doing that, let's go on over to LA. LA, man, we're week two for two now, man, showing up.
It's amazing.
I am truly grateful to see you back and seeing you join in on our conversation. What are your thoughts tonight, LA, about gratitude?
First of all, thank you very much for tonight. And I like that you put earlier saying that they'll be alive at the end of the day. So I had a chance to think about gratitude today. So that was nice. I'd say that when I think of gratitude, it's one way for me to put me back to the present moment. Too often in the day, we think of what we have to do. We're worried about what happened in the past, and we are worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, and so on. So I do believe that when you feel, or you just feel gratitude for where you are, then you have a glimpse of what the present is, without thinking of the past, without thinking of the future. And I think the good thing of that, it gives you a chance to reconnect with the creative energy or the loving energy that is who you are. So I think, and if you don't feel gratitude or don't take the moment to do that, then I feel sometimes the days are going by very fast and the week is gone and you don't know what happened and so on. So I think daily gratitude is amazing, regardless if it's a prayer or anything like this. So that's my thought on this one.
I love that, Alay. Thank you very much for sharing that. And and when you express that gratitude every single day, it really becomes a muscle. It really you strengthen. What you take action on every single day gains strength. And when you express gratitude, when whether it's internally for yourself or externally to other people, it really gains strength. Especially whenever you express gratitude towards other people, and sometimes people they're not looking for that. It becomes unexpected, especially if you just do something for somebody just for the sake of doing it. They might be grateful for that type of thing. And when you do that every single day, you understand that it is a muscle, but you also gain momentum, so to speak, with how you can do that in different ways. And you can be creative in different ways to express gratitude, show gratitude. Even from just a simple saying thank you. You touched on something a minute ago, and that's wanting to or having to. And Bonnie and I talked about that this morning, like wanting to do something, having to do something, or getting to do something. I love Bonnie's analogy. Before we go over to Peter, I just wanted Bonnie to kind of chime in on that one really quickly. And I love her story about taking out the garbage. You want to share that one real quickly again?
Yeah, full disclosure, this is actually David Meltzer's story that I learned from him. But it makes so much sense, as when being the youngest of six, he was always tasked to take out the trash, and he hated it. So I guess like when he was his family, then he went to the fraternity, all these different places. Now he's got, a wife and 3 daughters. He's always the one tasked with picking up the trash. And the more he disliked it and got angry about it, the more the stuff would break and spill and cut him, etc., etc. One day he decided, basically, let me see if I can find a light and some love in taking out the trash, and basically gratitude towards taking out the trash. And realized that the one thing that he wanted throughout his day was 5 minutes to himself to just think without anything else going on. And most people aren't hanging out when you're taking out the trash. So he found that was a really good time for him to do that. And by that way, started to enjoy taking out the trash, and he felt gratitude towards taking out the trash. And so it is true. Like if you can find gratitude in taking out the trash, you can find gratitude towards most situations that we are, dealing with, especially here in these, first world countries. So yeah, that's
I love that. And thanks for sharing that, by the way. And that falls right into the category of wanting to do something, having to do something, or getting to do something. And when you take those things for granted, man, just think about it like this. There's other people that would love to do some of the things that you take for granted. There's people that are out there that literally are just like, man, I wished I could do that. Oh man, I would give anything to be able to do that. And those little things that you tend to take for granted, other people are actually out there hoping and wishing that they could do those things that you're taking for granted. And
I have a side note for that. We had a period of time here where there was some confusion, discrepancy between my bank and our trash company, and they weren't picking up our trash, and so I was fighting this dispute. And so to say that I was super grateful when they started picking up our trash again is an understatement, because anybody who's had to smell, yeah. So I'm not going to go into all the details. It was a terrible situation, and definitely taught me gratitude about being able to getting to take out the trash.
Awesome. All right, so I see that Mariella came back, but are you ready now, Mariella? Okay. You're on mute at the moment.
Yes, I'm gonna talk because my daughter actually has to go somewhere.
Okay.
And this is maybe the 5 or 6 time I've been fixing her shirt. And if you know what I mean, gratitude is sometimes, we do take granted our children. I love what Bonnie was saying, and I'm gonna say it quickly. We definitely took for granted our children, especially the older ones. We sometimes forget when we have little ones, when we pay too much attention to them, the big ones seems to get jealous. And but at the same time, we kind of like force our children to become parents instead of just remaining children, or being given them responsibilities as a parent, and where it affects them, and you can end up losing your children like that. And the reason I tell you that is when Bunny said it, we love our children, but when they know they're intelligent, but they do something stupid or they be an ungrateful, the little minor things, we can definitely fight with them, and then we kind of like push them away, to the point where they seek other people's approval. They seek other people's attention. So yes, my daughter left for 2 days, and she needed the space. She's 18, so sometimes we do need that space. But being grateful about your children, those 2 days that she left, I had to regroup and think about what did I do wrong, and screaming at her and doing stupidity, and not being like a parent and putting her as a parent. Sometimes I forget it that she's 18. I'm like, I personally been on my own, like, I was on my own since little. At 16 I left the house, and not even that, before that I always wanted to be on my own, so I was being independent, and I never had like a pure family like growth. I had the opportunity, but personally I was not. One day we'll tell about the story about that, but personally I grew up on my own, so I've been on my own since I've been 16. And I never wanted my child to never know how it is not to have parents, so
Mhm.
I'm grateful for my children, and even though she annoys me a lot, I'm grateful because there are people that can't have children. So
Mhm.
gratitude is being able to be for your children, and also like for saying, "I forgive you," or like, "I'm sorry,
Mhm.
forgive me." Yes, forgive me for being wrong, for screaming at you and stuff like that. But sometimes she said, "Mommy, you know what? I'm sorry." And it feels good. Gratitude is admitting when you're wrong as a parent.
Mhm.
We don't like to admit it a lot of times. That's what there's a lot of people that children, teenagers seek places to hide, seek places to be at. They don't want to be around you. You know what I mean? So be
Mhm.
grateful and teach your children. And Bonnie, one more thing, because then I'll be blabbing too much. One more thing, I did love what you said, the routine. Yes, children needs the routine, and even though I don't have the proper whatever, but I'm gonna be disciplined enough to maybe by 8 o'clock leave me alone. Okay, now it's time for your routine, because yes, we approaching, and I'm with grades and all the stuff in school, and I'm very 100% on my kids. So yeah, the little one has to be in schedule, but gratitude, great, is awesome. That's what I feel about gratitude.
I love that. Bonnie, would you like to
Yeah.
add anything to what Mariella said?
I'm really glad it was helpful. And like I said, I could tell from her face that she kind of knew what I was talking about. And yeah, definitely, it's a two-way street. It definitely is. Like we need to be parents, and at the same time, not always be our kids' best friends and whatnot. I'm not going to go off on a whole other tangent. But at the same time, not take the parenting, I'm the parent, you're the kid, to such an extreme that you can't ever admit that you've made a mistake. I think it's really important for kids to learn from example of how to admit when they've messed up and to apologize, and also be grateful for those people that are around them. They're there to support them, help them, teach them, and grow.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. We also have Peter here. Peter, would you like to weigh in? What are your thoughts about gratitude? How do you
Yes.
share that?
So when you're talking about this topic, first thing come to my mind is the song "Count Your Blessing." Count your blessing, name them one by one. Count your blessing, see God what have done. So this song is my son, their favorite song in the Sunday school. So yeah, we as an adult we also really need to, besides teaching our children, we need to count our blessing before we go to bed. So see what God had done in our daily to, in order to give thanks to the God. So this is what I want to share today. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah,
Back to you.
I love it. So I'm glad that I was able to help Mina out here.
Yes.
We had a little bit of trying to get the I am unbreakable printable shared and sent over to Mina. So now that Mina has the my unbreakable printable, we want to make sure
I
that
want one too.
So right here we have the I am unbreakable printable right here, which is over on our website unbreakablestories.com.
I'm
And
gonna try to figure it out.
I
I'll
will do it.
I'll send it to you over
For
on
sure.
your Instagram. So all you have to do is head on over to our website, which is unbreakablestories.com. You will see the link right there. It says share your support. All we
Yeah.
want you to do is go over there to that link right there where it says share your support. Download the printable. You'll see all the details right there. So there's a link where you can download that printable. All you have to do is take a picture of yourself, you know, like Mina has right there. She's showing her phone. We all had the printable, but all you really need to do is just download that, take a picture of yourself, share it across social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Tag us. We've added all of our profiles right there. I got you.
Yes.
Make sure that you use the hashtag #MyUnbreakableStory, and we will share that back on our website. We will share that across our social media, and that will bring visibility back to you. I love it. Mina, what are your thoughts? What is your question?
You know, I love the T-shirt. I will buy the T-shirt of like you.
I love it.
I love it. So
Yeah, and Bonnie will be tremendously grateful for that. So make sure you get connected with Bonnie. I mean, all the details are on our website, unbreakablestories.com, and
okay.
Bonnie will definitely get you taken care of with the shirt.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so I think we went around the horn already with everybody's thoughts. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and wind things down and get ready for the after party, because that's where the magic really happens, is the after party. We throw down. It is lit during. No, I'm just playing. So I'm definitely get it. Anyway, the after party's rocking. You should join it. But let's go ahead and go around the horn. Here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and start with Alay, Peter, Mariella, Mina, Bonnie, and I'll close things out with final words about gratitude. So what are your final thoughts? What would be like one tip, tool, technique, resource, or final thought or bit of advice that you would give to anybody watching currently or the replay? Alay, over to you.
Thank you, Terry. I would say that I would give a tip. And sometimes we forget to have gratitude. And my trick is when I walk outside and somehow I look up and I see a cloud, that's my cue to say, okay, there's a cloud. I need to take a moment to feel gratitude. And the reason for that is when you look at a cloud, it's not going very fast. It doesn't care about anything. It's going to go its way. And it gives me a chance to just to feel gratitude, feel grounded for a moment, because sometimes when we're outside, we run and walk and fast and so on. So my tip is find something that happens regularly to you and tell yourself, every time I see this or this happens, I'll take a moment to feel gratitude. And that's my tip for you guys today. Thank you.
I love it. Alay, I'm going to go ahead and tuck you back behind stage, but stay for the after party, but I'm going to go ahead and tuck you back behind backstage again. All right, Peter, over to you. What are your final thoughts, tip, advice?
Yes, I think we should have the gratitude journal to write down all our things happen in our life. So it's really helpful for me to look back for the gratitude. Thank you.
I love that. Peter, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for love the t-shirt, by the way. Thank you for wearing the t-shirt and your never-ending support for being a part of the Unbreakable family. Man, we love you, Peter. I'm going to go ahead and tuck you backstage again. And we'll turn things over to Mariella. So I'm not sure if Mariella's there. She may be handling some business at the moment, but we will go ahead and we'll go ahead and turn things on over to I see Mariella. So we'll turn things on over to Mariella real quickly. Nope. Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn things on over to Mina. Mina, what are your final thoughts?
I'm so sorry.
Yes, for me, I express gratitude before getting out from my bed. When I wake up, the first thing I do is practicing my gratitude. And at night, the same moment before going to bed, I practice gratitude. So these two moments are very important for me, because when I wake up, I'm grateful for being alive, for having a new day, and at night all what I have experienced during the day, and all. So I advise everyone to practice it, because we feel great when we have gratitude about all what you have. We have.
I love it. Mina, thank you very much for joining us. Thank
Yeah,
you for,
thank
for
you.
always giving us value, and definitely look forward to receiving from you continuously. Thank you for being a part of
Yes,
the Unbreakable
thank
family.
you.
All right, I'm going to tuck you back backstage. Hang out. We're going to have the after party here shortly. And I see Mariella. She's rocking. She's ready to go. She's ready to
Yes,
move
I'm ready
down.
for the after party because these kids are driving me crazy.
Yeah.
But gratitude, guys, is definitely gratitude. My children, my kid. Gratitude is, listen, today actually I woke up today. Today is funny. I didn't know you were gonna be doing about gratitude at all. This morning, yesterday, because this couple days has been a little bit psychotic for me, but this morning actually I listened to what it calls to Evan, and he was saying about something about gratitude, and I kind of lost my thought. But anyways, gratitude is basically, just be grateful for everything. So today I got up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for a walk with my child. So you know what? I'm gonna be grateful for the little things, for the sun to be outside. So just
Mhm.
even for my daughter to be doing this in my face,
She's
I
giving
always
you a
wanted it to
makeover.
have a
She's doing a
child.
beautiful job. I'm like, I've got little boys, so now at
Oh,
this
me
point,
too, me too. I always wanted a boy, but this one is a boy. This one has me rolling. So just be grateful whatever God gives you, and have a wonderful gratitude. Gratitude is just every day enjoying the day. That's it.
I love that. Mariella, thank you very much for being here. I'm going to tuck you backstage here very quickly, and we're going to get
Yes.
things.
Okay. Bye bye.
All right. So I did see a couple of messages back here. So I'm going to take a moment to read messages. But Bonnie, over to you. Any final thoughts? Yeah, it'll give me a chance to read the message here that I received. What are your final thoughts?
yeah. Hopefully, I'm going to give a shameless plug here, if that's okay. Actually, I was challenged to do this, but it actually fits really well in here because thinking through this, having a gratitude practice actually led me down an amazing path of healing, not only like mentally and spiritually, but physically. And I'm not going to go all into all the details, but history of depression, anxiety, the fibromyalgia, all of that stuff has been pretty much, for the most part, wiped out. And when any of it pops up, specifically, I had a rocky couple of months after quitting smoking. Gratitude was really my go-to to curb the depression, to curb the anxiety, to bring myself back to the present, to really just focus on what I had going for me in the here and now. And so actually just wanted to throw this out there. I'm doing basically some research to wrap up a program that I'm writing for people who are struggling with anxiety, specifically social anxiety, kind of a post-pandemic um, situations. And just am looking for information. And so if anybody is struggling with that and would be willing to sit down with me for 45 minutes and just answer some confidential questions just to help me shape the last little bits of this program, I would be eternally grateful. It would really help to hear straight from the people that are, having difficulty with this versus me making assumptions about what's the best thing to put into a program. So just DM me over on Instagram at Posh Notions. Other than that, find a gratitude practice that works for you. I mean, that's the most important thing, is what you can be consistent with. And whether it's saying thank you in the morning and thank you at night, whether it's I love Peter's journal. I am going to be the first one to say I am terrible about being consistent with a journal. I get them all fancy and they're gorgeous and I do really well for like 3 days and they're really filled out like 6 pages at a time and then it's like nothing. And then I was the kid that was like, "Dear diary, I'm so sorry. I haven't written in you the last 4.6 months." Like, I'm not even kidding. I have social proof of that somewhere. But so that's just not my thing. That's not the thing. Because then I have that guilt and shame that kind of rolls around with that. And that's just not, doesn't work together. Find what works for you. Try something. Try to stick with it for 30 days. If it's working, great. You're going to feel better. Like Terry mentioned, there's scientific proof and evidence of how this elevates people. And I could go on a whole tangent about the health benefits, and maybe that's a continuation for next week or something. But that was a whole lot. So I'm going to pause here and let Lady Lexi talk. And just thank you, everyone, for showing up and hanging out with us.
I love it. Bonnie, thank you very much, as always. Lexi, man, we haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? What are your thoughts about gratitude? And we're truly grateful to have you here tonight.
Well, it's so good to be here. I know what Bonnie said about the gratitude journal. I'm horrible when it comes to journaling consistently. But I've got tons of pictures on my phone, and just going through those pictures and sharing my stories when I'm talking to people, that's not only giving me the pleasure of experiencing gratitude in the moment, but I'm reliving the gratitude time and time and time again. And that's basically the feeling of being able to relive it. On Facebook they have this section like memory from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I can actually really appreciate it, because especially with not having been able to walk and then being able to walk again, and there are so many moments that I'm like, oh my god, I'm here at the concert and I'm walking. Yesterday I was at the Kiss concert, and I was there from the from the afternoon with the sound check all the way up till the evening. And there were two moments that I was really grateful for. Well, actually
Those
two.
were
First
recent
of all,
pictures.
being there.
I thought you were still sharing like old. Those were recent. Again, so you went to another concert.
Yeah, I've been to Belgium, and then
Ah,
I was with the wheelchair, and I was on the side of the right stage for the viewer.
I
And
saw that.
last night, I had bought two VIP packages for Gaby and me. So Gaby was the one who had put the fox makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked her up. We drove to Amsterdam, then I drove her back again. And the day before, on walking distance, was Ingrid Malmsteen, because she lives close to the venue, 013, and that was great, being grateful too, because I knew if I was going to get there, I know security over there, because I help bands out every now and then, backstage doing all the stuff. And so I ended up from a bar stool near the bar to all the way on the other side, being in front of the stage on the bar stool. But the Kiss
Love it.
concert, being able to actually stand for so many hours, because it was, it was a whole lot of activities. And then also being able to stand on the side of the stage. So when I came in, I said, I need support, because I can't stand in front without being able to lean against something, and no one is willing to do something. But I was like, oh, this is going to work out. And it did. So he got me all access areas passes, not to go constantly backstage. But it gave me a beautiful view, and apparently I was under the exit sign, so everyone on stage could see me. So I was like waving at Tommy when he came from the right to the left side of the stage, and then he was like, going back. It was so funny. But yeah, the only thing I regret is not being able to say thank you to Matt. He knows I'm thankful to him, but he tried to find me. I tried to find him, and we missed one another.
Yeah.
But he made it happen, and I can't tell you how grateful I am that one person was there who said, "You know what? I'm going to make it happen for you." So
I
that
love it.
was amazing.
I love it. Lexi, thank you for sharing. And I know a lot about your story and about your journey, and to watch you grow over the last year alone has just been truly phenomenal. You've put in a lot of hard work to get to where you are right here today. And that's one of the big messages that we always share with people. It doesn't really matter where you've been, because you don't want to stay stuck within that story. You don't want to stay stuck within that misery, because we've all experienced roadblocks. We've all experienced struggles and hardships within life, but that's not where life ends. Life is on the other end of you taking action and experiencing things, because there is opportunities each and every single day for anyone to really do anything that they want to. And I want to kind of close here tonight. So Lexi, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck you backstage again real quick, because I want to kind of share my closing thoughts here. But thank you very much. And I know your story. Your story is a truly phenomenal story. And man, it's one of those things to where I'm inspired by that. I'm truly inspired by Lexi's story, because she has the resiliency to really kind of overcome certain things and really bounce back and be able to show people that, once again, if it's possible for her, it's possible for each and every single one of you. And I want to leave with these closing thoughts right here. When you have vision, it's one of those things that there's people that just don't have vision, in other words, sight. But what I'm talking about, having sight and having vision, it's two really completely different things. When you have vision and you only look surface deep, you will literally only see the opportunities that are right there within front of you. That's all that you will see. And that's, looking surface deep. But here's what I challenge each and every one of you to do. I challenge each and every one of you to go beyond the vision, go beyond surface level, go deep. Dive deeper down into the soul of what could be. And it's only then will you discover the possibilities, because opportunities and possibilities are two completely different things. And that's what I want to leave you with here tonight. We talk about gratitude and people taking things for granted. And I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of people that take for granted the things that they can do, the things that they could do, the things that, they would do. And that's really all procrastination language. It truly is. But man, when you have the ability to do anything that you can do within this world, and then you complain about all of the things that you have to do or you need to do, or, I must do, or whatever the case may be grateful for the things that you get to do. And that's what I want to leave you here with tonight. Bonnie, great episode tonight. Thank you very much for the topic and the ideas. I always love it, man. It's been a continuation of some truly phenomenal stuff over the last month. And I just want to say thankful. I'm grateful for you, grateful for Unbreakable, grateful to see all these friends show up. And man, my heart is full, and I'm truly grateful. Bonnie, thank you very much.
Thank you. This was a great episode. I enjoyed this conversation, and we had a full house today. I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah.
I mean, we took a couple of weeks off, and we've got all these people that showed up and shared. And I just, again, one of my favorite, probably my most favorite thing about doing these is just hearing everybody's perspective, because I always get to walk away with even more than I walked in with. So I'm super grateful for you and for making this happen, and always getting everything in the background set up so we can get ready to go. And so once again, thank you so much.
I love that. Once again, thank you very much. My name is Terry Thompson. I am the host of Unbreakable Stories here, along with my co-host, Bonnie. Man, we are truly grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.